So picture this, you're in Japan, you finally made it. You're on vacation and you've decided after a few days in Tokyo to take it easy and go to somewhere a little bit quieter. So you've picked out the perfect spot, Hakone. It's a place famous for beautiful onsen and great art galleries. So you're gonna take maybe 1 or 2 days just to take it easy and relax and take in the sights. On your way from Tokyo to Hakone, you take the Odakyu line. And there's a transfer on the way to Hakone. It's called Odawara. Now you don't really pay much attention to this place because it's just a transfer spot between Tokyo and Hakone. But you see a castle in the distance and you wonder, oh, what's that about? You don't pay it much mind though because you're in a hurry and you need to get to Hakone because you've booked a beautiful onsen and you just want to get there as quickly as you can. So this is basically what happened to me about 2 years ago, and it's probably the biggest mistake I've made because that castle is one of the most beautiful places I've visited in Japan. And the surrounding areas are also really spectacular. If you're going to Hakone, or even if you're going to Japan, you should absolutely put Odawara on your list of places to visit. It's also surrounded by this giant moat. And this moat is really beautiful, especially during cherry blossom season, when you can see all of these beautiful cherry trees and their petals falling into the moat. It sets this really serene image, and luckily I got the chance to go during cherry blossom season this year, and it was really spectacular. The views from inside and around the castle are some of the most spectacular I've seen in Japan. It really felt at times like I was living inside an ukiyo-e painting. And ukiyo-e in Japanese basically means like picture of the floating world, like a world above reality. And a lot of ukiyo-e paintings use empty space to kind of give this image that the world that you're viewing is more elevated than real life. And that is kind of the feeling you get from this blanket of sakura around you and this beautiful moat around the castle. There's this kind of sense of empty space that lifts the whole area up. It's really quite incredible. But the other really charming thing about Odawara area is that the shops and buildings around the castle are all very traditional and quite Edo period aesthetic. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Kamakura or Kyoto in that kind of way. You're walking through and you're seeing this kind of mix of modern and traditional that's quite beautiful. In fact, one of my favorite places was this big kind of shopping center that was built to look like a traditional Japanese building. And a lot of the shops were actually more traditional Japanese goods. So you can buy things like dango, which is my favorite Japanese sweet. It's 3 mochi balls, usually with a topping. I think they had just about every topping you can get, from soy sauce to red bean paste to a bunch of others. It was really lovely and tasted amazing. The other thing that the place has, which is a little bit more on the touristy side, so I wasn't super into it, but I can see how some people would jive with it. There was a samurai museum and a ninja museum. In both, I believe you can dress up as either samurai or ninja, and the cool thing is both of these buildings are on the grounds of Odawara Castle. So you're inside the castle, or near the castle anyway, and you're dressed as a ninja walking around the castle grounds and stuff. And you can do ninja challenges and all of this other stuff. Again, it's not really my jive. I might do it someday in the future, but I felt that maybe I'm a bit too old for it. Maybe if you've got kids, it would be a really cool thing to do. And when I checked online, all the photos are like of families and stuff. So maybe I'll do it in the future if enough people convince me that I should. But for the meantime, just looking outside was enough. So yeah, if you're in Japan, if you're heading to Hakone, or even if you've got a half day free, I really recommend heading down to Odawara, having a look, going to the castle. Especially if you're heading to Hakone anyway, it's one of the stops that you'll be transferring at. Instead of just getting straight onto the next train like I did, step outside, stretch your legs, walk up to the castle, get a beautiful view of the town, and then head to Hakone. You won't regret it.